In this tutorial, we're going to take a look at how to use Adobe Premiere to do quick cutaways in our editing process. A cutaway is when we cut from our primary interview or primary action to a secondary clip, often called B-roll. It should reinforce the dialogue from the interviewer or give a second angle for the primary action. To follow along with this tutorial, go to our class Google Drive, open up the Downloads folder, and copy the Cutaway 2 folder to your desktop. Remember, if you're on a Mac, to hold down the Option key until you see the plus sign before letting go of the mouse and copying it to your desktop. Next, add your last name in all capitals and add a period to rename the folder. Open your folder and double-click on the Cutaway project file to launch Adobe Premiere. So hopefully once you open this up, everything should look pretty much like this. You should have two different clips down on your timeline. You should have a clip already tagged with an in and out marker in your source window. You should be in the editing workspace. If you are not, click on the workspaces tab and select editing. You should also see in the project panel, you should see some B-roll clips. If we close that, we'll see there's also some interview clips. So the two clips that are on there already are the interview clips. They've already been tagged, as you can see, with dialogue. And you should see Essential Sound panel up here. If you do not see Essential Sound, all you see is Properties. Go to Window and scroll down to Essential Sound, and it will open up next to the Properties window. It'll open up next to the Properties window. If Properties is still selected, click on Essential Sound. Since it is dialogue, we're going to go ahead and select both of these clips. Hold down the Shift key and click on both of them. And we are going to click on Loudness first and hit Auto Match. That should make them come out to the same audio output. I'm going to hit the space bar so you can hear what the audio sounds like before we hit the enhanced speech dialogue.
Center. What our firefighters are doing here today is climbing 100.
You can hear some wind sound in it, so we're going to hit enhanced speech to clean that audio up. So it's going to take a second while it analyzes both the files and processes the enhanced speech function. And once it's complete, I'm just going to hit the spacebar one more time so you can hear how the sound has improved.
110 stories on our training tower in full.
You can see that it's removed most of the wind noise. I'm going to click anywhere in the timeline to deselect the clips. I'm going to grab my playhead and move it back to about 11 seconds. That's right before Chief Citro starts to explain what the firefighters are doing. This number right here shows you where the playhead is at in terms of seconds on the timeline. Next, we're going to go to our source monitor, and clip 2299 should already be open. If it's not, you can double click it from the project window and get it to open up in the source monitor. We're going to add an in and out marker for this clip because we're going to use it for our first cutaway. I want to start this clip where it starts to tilt up and show the height of the staircase they're climbing. I need to select the source monitor by clicking in the window and make sure the blue line comes up to show me that that's the active window, and I'm going to hit the space bar to press play. So I don't want to cut this guy's feed off, so I'm going to stop this at 5 seconds. I went 1 second over. I'm going to use the left arrow key to go back 1 frame, and I'm going to hit the letter I key to create an endpoint for this. So I'm going to hit the spacebar again, and I want to get about 5 seconds for this clip. So I hit the spacebar, I stopped it right at 10 seconds, so that should be 5 seconds in total length. And then I'll press the letter O to add an out point to this clip. And right now, it says that it's 5 seconds in 1 frame. That's so close, we're not going to worry about it. I can also drag the out point here. I can make the clip shorter or longer on the timeline in the source monitor by just clicking and dragging and making it longer. So I'll show you what that looks like. I could make this clip 7 seconds long, whatever I want to do. I'm going to hit Command Z to just turn that back. So my clip is 5 seconds in duration, and I'm going to drag it right down so that it snaps to the playhead. So I'm going to click in the video screen window and drag it down and line it up with the playhead. So the clip has been tagged as dialogue. So I want to select the clip and go up to the Essential Sound panel and hit Clear Audio Type. And then I'm going to select Ambience because it's background noise. I'm going to come back down and click into the timeline to activate the window, and I'm going to hit the space bar and see how loud it is.
Trade Center.
So I think it needs to come down a little bit. We can do this one of two ways. We can drag manually here, or we can use the clip volume from the Essential Sound panel, and we can drag that slider while we're actually playing the clip back to get the right sound. So I'm going to back this up. I'm going to hit the space bar to hit play.
Trade Center. What our firefighters doing here today is climbing 110 stories on our training tower.
Volume that is good for the clip. We're going to add one more cutaway right after our first cutaway. We're going to come to our project window, and we're going to double click on 2316. It already has an in point, and it does not have an out marker, but it's 6 seconds long. We're going to just drag that to the timeline directly behind our first cutaway. And we'll go through the same process to adjust this volume so that it doesn't overpower the dialogue. So I'll hit the space bar.
Training tower and full protective gear.
That was one that we already adjusted in class, so we're going to call that one good. Next, we're going to add a transition between those two cutaways. So to add a transition between our two cutaway clips, we need to switch our workspace from editing to effects. So we're going to scroll down to effects, and I'm just going to type in dip to black and scroll down in my window until I see it. I'm going to click on the little icon next to where it says dip to black and drag it to my clips in between the two of them, and it should put a transition in there. I'm going to back up the playhead so I can see it, hit the space bar and press play.
On our training tower in full.
And I think that looks pretty good. All right, so the last thing that we're going to do is we have two segments from the interview. It's from the same clip, but so essentially we have two clips on the timeline that is the interview. In between those two clips, there's a little bit of a hard cut. So what we want to do is go back to editing from our workspaces, and we're going to select a clip to use as a transition between these two cuts. So when we switched to the effects window, it closed out my folders. So I'm going to go to the stair climb. I'm going to go to B-roll. I'm going to scroll down so I can get to the bottom of these, and I'm going to double click on 2302. And this also has an in and out point already selected, so we're just going to click and drag this down onto our timeline and kind of center it over the two clips. So I'm going to go where the counter is in the timeline, and I'm just going to click right here to bring the playhead a little bit before this transition where this cutaway is. I'm going to hit the space bar and play and see how that looks.
Tune the victim in the tower.
So we need to adjust the audio on this clip as well. I'm going to back the playhead up. So I'm going to use the Essential Sound panel to lower this clip. I'm going to click on the clip, and I can see that it's reset the decibels to 0. I'm going to hit the space bar and press play. And I can drag the slider until the volume gets to a reasonable level. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to save the project and upload it into our Google Drive according to the guidelines for the assignment, and then go to Canvas and tell me that you've completed the assignment.